All right. And recording is good, right? Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our April Community Town Hall meeting. My name is Sarah Stell, and I'm the Director of Communications at Insight PA. Tonight, we have three guests joining us. First, we are going to get some state testing updates and exciting information about this year's testing from Anthony Grande, our Director of Assessment and Evaluation. And then we will hear title program updates from Jaleesa Epps, our Compliance Manager. And then Angela Rudy, our Enrollment and Strong Start Manager, will be sharing information about enrollment confirmation and how to make sure you're all set for the 25-26 school year. And then I'll be back just to bring things to a close and share our remaining events for the rest of this school year. We are at that point in the year where we're talking about the final events of the school year. So we are going to start with state testing. So I'm going to stop my share and I am going to pass it over to Anthony Grande.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Hopefully, everybody can see my slides. They came up. I see head nods. Perfect. As Sarah still said, my name is Anthony Grande, but I usually go by Tony with friends. So, as we are all friends here, please feel free to call me Tony. I am the Director of Assessment and Evaluation here at Insight PA. And I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of extra information and kind of just some general updates and maybe what to expect and the whys for state testing. Um, so looking at the agenda, we're going to talk about just a brief overview, which kind of is going to specifically target which state tests we're talking about today. Then jump into a little bit of the whys of state testing. And really, I think how we as a school and the importance we place on our students and families, our real kind of vision and mission around the state tests, why they're given, and the importance placed on them. Then we're going to quickly talk about some important dates to keep in mind, tips and tricks, and what you can expect when going to your local testing site. And of course, as always, I open it up for questions, and anybody can ask questions at the end of the town hall as well, but I always like to offer some time for questions during my presentations. So, state testing. The thing I want to note is that our focus tonight is really on the Pennsylvania State System Assessments, or PSSA tests, and the Keystone exams. So the other two that are on here are very important, but they've already occurred throughout the year. So we're really focusing on these two as they're coming up in the cycle of the annual provision. So our PSSA tests, that includes all students in grades 3 through 8. It assesses reading and math in all grades 3 through 8, as well as science in grades 5 through 8. And then Keystone. So I like to put out there, like traditionally, you can your students being offered this are in 11th grade. However, it can occur really in any grade in high school, and primarily we're really looking at students who maybe have completed the courses for algebra, biology, and English language arts. So the whys of state testing. We have two big ones here, and I'm going to talk through each of these on the next slides, but I just to kind of give an overview. So there is like a legal obligation as we are a public school. So as a public school, we are required to provide and disseminate all state assessments every year to those grades that are eligible. But I really want to start kind of focusing, I think, what we would all view as the most important thing is really what the state tests give us in one snapshot. So really what we're trying to get when we're getting these tests is, yes, there's legal obligations. We report these, performance to the state watches the performance of how students are learning in our school. But I think really what I always kind of emphasize is that we're really looking at this as the opportunity to see another opportunity, I should say, because we have several different ways that we're constantly trying to see how are our students progressing within the curriculum during the year. So we're looking at strengths and where are we seeing students growing consistently and know that we're, really drilling into those skills effectively and we're really excited about that. And where are those areas we need to continue to develop from a curricular perspective? Where might students specifically need some support? All of these things. The one thing I always kind of try to say is we're trying to teach the skills that allow students to be successful. That's in school, that's beyond school. From that, they will be successful on the tests, but it's not preparing the students to take the tests. We want the students to learn those skills, whether it's in ELA, math, science. We want them to have those skills, to learn those skills and that information because it's important to be successful in school and beyond. So, kind of building off that a little bit, for students and families, I'm not going to read this verbatim, but really, it's kind of showing us the academic achievement as linked to PA educational standards. So, all Pennsylvania schools that are public schools follow these standards, and they're really around, in all subjects to make sure students are learning key pieces of information, certain skills, all these things. So the PSSA assessments and Keystone assessments are really seeing how students are developing those on a large scale for the school, saying, okay, the school is doing these things effectively, and where the school is continuing to build student needs and where we need to target those. So it allows students and families to see where their strengths are areas of continuing development, see how we're tailoring our curriculum and instruction throughout not only 1 year, but over many years to make sure that we're really getting the best opportunities for all of our students to learn this information. This is a lot on this slide, so I'm not going to read this verbatim, but this kind of goes back to some of those legal things. So as I kind of mentioned before, one of the reasons that we do provide them as a school is because it's required as just part of PA Commonwealth law and funding. So it's really that is one part of it. So we're complying with all of the legal requirements and all of those things. It certainly has impacts on funding and all that. Not to say boring stuff, because funding is very important, but that from our lens, we're really viewing it as we follow the legal guidelines, but we're ultimately looking at these as another opportunity to see how our students are thriving and where do we need to continue to put effort in to develop skills. So both the legal end as well as the most important student for students and families, where are we succeeding and where do we need to continue to grow. Some important dates. So, due ASAP, the wonderful Nicole Lasky, who is just working like crazy right now because it's the state testing season, as we call it, but she's busy throughout the year prepping all these things. She reaches out to every family for students who are eligible this year to take either the PSSA or the Keystone assessments. If you have not done so, it's really important to confirm your attendance. She goes through all, when she sends you the communication, it outlines where it will be. We really work very hard to make sure that wherever that testing session is, that's as close to you as possible. So we have regional locations throughout the state that we provide the testing. So she would have reached out with all of that information. And one of the things that's outlined in there is just for you to confirm your attendance to the session. It's also an opportunity if you have any specific questions, if you foresee any difficulties or barriers, you can always reach out to Nicole, myself as well. But if you have that Parent Square or email from Nicole Lasky, that's a good place to also, if you know anything that's coming up, you can always communicate that with her, and we do our best to kind of mitigate any barriers that are coming up, as well as support all families and students. So the PSSA testing window. So we have, and these are all on our calendars, but you'll see the three testing windows here. So really, you can think of it as the first window is April 21st through April 25th. The second window is the 28th through May 2nd, and then the third window is May 5th through May 9th. On the invitation you get from Nicole Lasky, she outlines which dates you would need to be there, as well as obviously I mentioned location and what assessments would be administered. And that exact same thing goes for Keystones. So Keystones only has two testing windows. It's May 12th through the 16th and then May 19th through the 23rd. Again, when you get that the information from Nicole Lasky, she really does a wonderful job making sure all families know what dates they need to attend, where the location is, and again, she's always available for questions. Tips and tricks. So, if you Google tips and tricks for state testing, you get a deluge and tons of information on different things you can do. And I really wanted to provide three things that are really common, both in like literature and study for assessment and these different things. But I think most importantly, what kind of consistently comes up is really important to student success and mental health and all of these things during these portions. So the first one, I really passionately implore I do this with all students I work with as well, is reassuring your students. Um, the results of these or anything like that is not it's not a punishment or anything like that. We really just want to see, what do our students know, and allow you as the family to see what their strengths are and what continuing needs and developments we're working on. So it's only important for them to do their best. That's really what we constantly preach. We don't want students being very nervous, and we can understand it's a different environment for many students. But it's really just about that idea. You go in, you do your best, and that's all we ever ask any student when they complete these. So that's the biggest thing, is try to relax as we go through this. Rest is one of the biggest things you'll see. Rest is very, very important the night before, making sure that, they have like a early bedtime, they get enough sleep, and all of those things are really shown to be very helpful. And again, also help with that calm and just kind of going into it. And the last one is having a good meal early in the morning, having breakfast before the assessments. So that is consistently shown to help students maintain concentration, recall the things they've learned in class, and reduce anxiety, all of those things. So those, I would say, are really the big three. There's lots of things you can do, and again, we really encourage all these, but I would say that consistently these would be the biggest three to kind of focus on. We do have resources at the end of the slide that we put together for families that have additional, tips and tricks and different things, but these are really the ones I wanted to highlight for everybody. So what can you expect from the testing experience? It might surprise you for me to say our hope and our aim is for them to be social and fun. That doesn't always go together when you think of state tests, but we really look at this as an opportunity, not just to come and, obviously we have these assessments we have to give in those things, but a lot of times it's an opportunity for you as the family, as well as students, to see classmates, to meet new peers, to get a chance just to be social with one another, beyond what we have online. And so we really look at that as a fun opportunity. Yes, there's the tests involved, but like we really want this to be an opportunity for students to be able to see each other, engage socially, and find the joy, and families and all of us connecting as the Insight PA school community. So we really, really pride and put emphasis on that. The other thing I'll put in here is the other thing you can expect is a relaxed, helpful, and now fully computerized or virtualized experience in terms of when you arrive. So By that, I mean, first, it's really important that when you come as, students and families that arrive, we have lots of information available as well. News for things that are upcoming, different supports we might have available for students that we have, and Sarah Stell knows the name. I believe we call them takeaways. They're like little folded things. They have links on there. They have different resources on there, all these things that are available. The opportunity to re-enroll is right there. We have all these things laid out, as well as just, again, our opportunity to see all of you in person. So we really want to provide that helpful piece, not only to answer questions maybe about the test, but just, talking about the school. If you have any questions, just getting to see, meet, and know you better. The other thing is this will be the first year that we are fully utilizing computerized assessments. So we're trying to do, and this is really by the state's request as well for all schools to kind of switch it virtually. Now we have to administer it virtually in one place or, have them be in a centralized location. But we are switching to that as well, which will really, I think, benefit lots of students, particularly in our world who are so used to using computers for their education every day. So it's really a cool opportunity for us to be able to do that as well. Oh, don't want to skip this one. This is one of the most exciting ones. So, on top of all that, we really want to continue to focus on like incentives for students and families who attend. So, like for students taking the PSSAs, we have giving away free post-it notes and spy pens. Apparently, spy pens you can write and the ink's invisible and you have to shine a light over them to see what was written. I think that's really cool. I want some. Handheld games, desk lamp, and a phone holder. For students taking the Keystones, there's a Bluetooth speaker that is provided. All students taking either the PSSAs or the Keystone exams will also receive a pair of Insight PA earbuds, the headphones, like what I'm wearing now, free of charge as well. They get them for the assessments and they are able to take those home with them. So all of these things are able to be provided for coming and participating. So if there are any questions, again, I'm hanging out here for the whole town hall. I know for time, sometimes that we might want to jump to the other presentations and then walk through them, but I will be here. But as well as when we provide the presentation and stuff, we have these links in there, just that, provide additional information or maybe help answer questions if I didn't answer them for you tonight. Um, as well as you can contact our assessment coordinator, Nicole Lasky, through Parent Square or email, or myself as well. Um, that is it for me. I think I did a lot of talking super fast. I tried to be fast and efficient to get through all of that. But I really hope to see as many of you out there as possible. It's really a great opportunity, and it's wonderful to be with you all tonight and talk through it. So thank you.
Tony, a question from the chat. Do parents get a copy of their students' test scores?
Yes, what an excellent question. Yes, 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 yes. All families receive the scores and the results of the assessments. That's a great question.
I would expand it just so everybody knows that those typically don't go out to the fall. So although we love
Yes,
immediate
thank you.
feedback, there is a delay. So look for those usually in October and November when we receive them from the state. We send them out from
Yes.
there.
And then another question, is Keystone testing only 2 days? My daughter only has one a week for 2 weeks.
So the Keystones work. The interesting thing about the Keystones, again, it's going to be because they have those prerequisite courses, it's often based around the schedule and what classes they've had. So if when you were provided the schedule for them, if they just had those 2 days, that would be the two available days for her to complete those.
And please reach out if for some reason you wanted that back to back and the week break doesn't work. You could reach out to
Yeah,
um,
Nicole or myself would be happy to
yeah.
accommodate that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did have some comments in the chat about transportation, but Julie, I think you're going to have someone reach out to them, correct? Yes.
Yep, I got all the information. I'll be reaching out. I will have somebody reach out.
Do the students bring their computers with them, or do they use something else?
There will be, so we actually provide all of the things there. Michael, completely correct me if I'm wrong, but they do not have to bring their school laptops with them there. We will have all of that ready to go for them. And I got the thumbs up, which means I did not misspeak. I always like to double check with our guru, but yes, no, they do not have to bring their laptops with them. Great question.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
So my son, he has 3 days and all 3 days are math. Is that normal? I'm not sure if I missed that or not. Should he have other subjects other than the math?
Yes, yes. So let me look into that for you. And I'll reach out to Nicole as well and see, because yeah, that's not typically, it would not be 3 days of one subject normally.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Are there any other questions about testing before we move on to our next presenter?
So why are some of the tests pushed all the way out to May?
So the actual scheduling of those truly is done by the state usually. We get like a certain dates and parameters that we can schedule and assign them, and that's really what we have to follow. So unfortunately, we're not able to really set those. All school districts throughout the state of Pennsylvania public schools administer these at the same time, because they are assigned those days that they have to have what they call those windows. So we have to follow those windows. We know it's tough too, because it would be easier to be a little bit more flexible at times, but that's one of those we have to follow. Great question, though. I do love that question.
And one more in the chat. Can someone bring their own headset because they cannot wear earbuds? But I see, thank you, Michael, for answering that. Yes, as long as it works with the Chromebook and the testing software.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where do I sign my children up? Because I'm the one that's speaking on the transportation, and I haven't signed them up for the testing because of transportation issue. I work from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So there's no one that can bring them to and from testing. So that is my issue. And I did speak to Nicole in reference to this, and she wasn't able to help me. So at this point, like, I don't know what to do with my two children that needs to come.
And that I'm going to give you a personal call, so that you and I can look at the possibilities and the days, and I could just get more information on your schedule. And I'm going to do my best to insert myself into that space to the highest extent possible.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
I had a question about when we would be receiving the emails about the timing of the testing.
All emails should have gone out for all students in the eligible grades, so either 3 through 8, or for Keystones if they had taken those prerequisite courses. Those have all gone out. So if that applies to you and you did not receive that, please, I will be sure to follow up and we will figure out what is happening there, because certainly we want to make sure you get those as well.
Okay, I might have missed the prerequisite course because my daughter's in 11th grade, so she should be taking Keystones, but maybe she's not in the courses that you.
That's possible, yes. So and that's where like the Keystone ones, they're a little bit different than like the PSSAs, where it's much more like if you're in this grade, you receive them. And again, if you have not received the email and Parent Square, I will be sure to follow up, and we'll figure out what happened there.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't received anything.
Oops.
Sorry.
Tony, if my student has a 504 plan and is supposed to be in a smaller group, will that definitely happen?
100% yes. So you can be assured that all accommodations, whether in a 504 or IEP plan, all of those are followed strictly. So we do make sure to follow those to the fullest extent. So absolutely, that's a great question.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have a quick question here. So my daughter is is eighth grade. I do remember getting one email for her for Keystone. I think it was one day on the 19th. Is there a place that we can, besides going through my thousands upon thousands of emails I have, that we can go to verify the dates?
Absolutely. So what I can actually do is have Nicole, like, so the general dates I provided, obviously those are the windows, but for you, the specific dates, we're able to just pull those and we can resend that information to you so you don't have to dig through all the emails. We know that can always be tough. So we can do that for you so you have those bumped up to the top of your email.
Okay, I really appreciate that. And what was Nicole's last name again?
Lasky, I'm sorry,
Nicole Lasky.
yes, Laskey.
Okay, I could probably do a search on there and just verify. I got three kids testing, two in one in eighth and one in third grade, and then my daughter, like I said, I remember one day for Keystone, but I deal with so much stuff. It's kind of hard to keep all my stuff straight.
Absolutely. No, I really appreciate that, and thank you for that question. We will absolutely be sure to follow up as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm also putting my email, and Tony will put his email in
Yes.
the chat. So please copy and paste that if you have, again, extenuating circumstances, or want clarification on anything. It's such an important time, and we love when the kids get to see each other and get to see some of their teachers. It's a really fun experience for them. So we want to do our best to help remove any barriers. And so don't be afraid to give us a call or email.
So Tony, correct me if I'm speaking wrong, but I believe we have Tony here for the duration of this meeting. So
Yes.
if you have additional questions, you can put them in the chat. We are going to move on. We have two more presentations tonight, so I am going to hand it over to our compliance manager, Jaleesa Epps.
Thank you, Sarah. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, can you guys see that? Okay. All right, and then you can see my presentation mode, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, hi, my name is Jaleesa Epps, and I am the compliance manager here. So here's the agenda for this portion of tonight's town hall. The purpose of this meeting is just to make you aware of the different title grants we received, how we use the grant funding this year, and then to get your input on how we should allocate the funding for next year. So we just want to make sure that our programs are really tailored for our students' needs as well as our staff and stakeholder needs. So Title I is a federal program that provides financial assistance to schools so that they can provide additional academic support and learning opportunities for their students. Title I is for students who attend schools that have a high percentage of economically disadvantaged students. The intent is to ensure that all students have the same opportunities as everyone else to meet or exceed the state academic standards. So as a school, the overall goal is to increase academic achievement, and Title I aids in that effort by allowing us to focus on direct instructional supports and provide professional development for our staff, and also to promote family engagement and educational opportunities for our families. The amount of Title I funding we receive depends on the number of students enrolled at our school who would qualify for free or reduced lunch. So any school who has over 40% of its students that would qualify for free or reduced lunch will be eligible for a school-wide program. Since we are over that 40% threshold, we are considered a school-wide title program, which allows us to service all of our students under Title I, regardless of their economic status. So the Title I allocation for the current school year was about $2 million. We used the $2 million for reading and math interventionist, for LEAP specialist, for enhanced curriculum for our life skills students, for the McKinney Vental Homeless Assistance Set Aside, and for our parent and family engagement activities. Now, there is a 1% requirement for the parent and family engagement activities, but we always set aside a little bit more because we know how important the parent and family engagement is. So we use those funds for parent and family outings and trips, for parent trainings, and for the annual SPAC conference. So I just wanted to highlight the SPAC conference really quickly. The SPAC conference, which is the State Parent Advisory Council Conference, is coming up on June 30th, and it will go until July 2nd. The conference is held at Seven Springs Mountain Resort, which is a beautiful resort, might I add. And it's for parents who want to come out and learn about different ideas and strategies to help their child at home. And the conference provides families with resources to enhance their child's school performance, to learn more about the role of parents and families in education, and also to network with other families across PA. This conference is a whole family conference. So while parents are getting resources and information, the kids can go to the resort's kids camp. They have a kids camp for kids ages 4 to 12. So while you're at the conference, the kids can enjoy their time and participate in fun activities. And it's all paid for through the Title I Parent and Family Engagement Set Aside. So no money out of your pocket. We already have 2 families that we're sending to the conference this year, but we will be looking for more families to send to the conference next year. And then we also received funding for Title II, III, and IV this year. Title II was for preparing, training, and recruiting high-quality teachers and principals for our students. And then it also helps us support our faculty and really fine-tune their skills. And then Title III helps us support our English language learner students. And Title IV is for student support and academic enrichment. And that really helps us provide all of our students with access to a well-rounded education and also improve school conditions for student learning. So we received about $138,000 in Title II funding this year. We use those funds for instructional coaching. And then we received about $16,000 for Title III this year. And we use those funds for translation services, reading support services, EL testing, and professional development. Now, Title IV is broken down into 3 different components. So we have safe and healthy students, a well-rounded education, and the effective use of technology. We received about $154,000 for Title IV this year. And here on the screen is a list of all of the programs and activities we spent the funds on. So we focus on the safe and healthy student component by providing community health screenings and supplies, trainings for our counselors and our nurses, first aid, CPR, and AED certifications and training for students. And then we focus on a well-rounded education by offering students courses, activities, and programs that give them access to an enriched learning experience. And then lastly, we focus on the effective use of technology component by basically providing our staff with professional development on the use of technology. So every Title I school, in collaboration with its parents, must prepare a school-level parent and family engagement policy. The parent and family engagement policy describes how the school will involve families in an organized, ongoing, and timely way in the planning, review, and improvement of the Title I program at their school. So our parent and family engagement policy is listed directly on our website and is also always in our school-wide newsletter. There's a section in the newsletter called Focus on Federal Programs, and that's where you'll be able to find the policy. And then we're also going to drop a link in the chat if you want to open up the policy and read it at some point today or tomorrow. But once you review the policy, then you'll be able to give us some constructive feedback on the policy because we're going to be sending you guys out a parent and family engagement policy survey that's going to be sent out in the next week or so. Now, during the school year, the Student Support Services team offered workshops and events that were geared towards parents and families. Some topics that were discussed were planning for college or technical school, truancy prevention, and then understanding state assessments. So these are just a few examples of the parent and family workshops we offer, but we always try to align most of the workshops with the ones chosen in the family needs assessment. The family needs assessment is just a tool we use. It's basically like a survey to evaluate what our families need and what we can do to help them meet those needs and what we're able to like offer to like help them kind of get to where they want to get. We'll talk a little bit about the needs assessment that we're going to give you guys in an upcoming slide. The School Parent and Family Compact is also listed directly on our website and is also always in the school newsletter under the Focus on Federal Program section. And we're going to drop a link in the chat for that as well. So if you want to pull it up and review it again today, then you can. So most of you guys already reviewed the compact at the beginning of the school year anyway, but just for preparation for next year, we're asking you to take another look at the compact and just give some feedback on ways we can improve or change the compact. Then at the end of my portion of the meeting, you can just let me know if you have any immediate thoughts on ways to improve the compact. But if nothing comes to mind now and you want to just submit a suggestion later, you can go ahead and give me a shout out or send me an email at the email listed on the screen. So parents and families have rights. Title I is very specific in addressing parent and family rights. Parents and families have the right to ask for meetings and trainings. You guys have the right to review our achievement data, to review and modify the Title I Parent and Family Engagement Policy that I just talked about, and also the Parent School Compact. You have the right to review our involvement plan within the school's comprehensive plan, and then you also have the right to review the results of our annual Parent and Family Engagement Survey. So if you ever want to review any of that information but can't find it or can't access it for some reason, you can always request the information directly from your school's principal. We also received a comprehensive support improvement grant this year, which is for schools facing the most significant challenges in academic achievement, student growth, and other areas. We received about $221,000 in CSI funds this year, and we use those funds to address the educational needs of our students, to lay out strategies to improve the whole school and educational experience, to help our students meet the state academic standards and achieve academic improvement. So if you have any questions about our CSI plan, you can review the plan directly on our website, or you can contact our Chief Academic Officer, Ms. Julie Jaskar, whose email address is right here on the bottom of this screen. So I just went over everything we use our title funding for this year. We are about to apply for funding for the upcoming school year, and we need your input. So to be fully transparent, we don't know what the exact outcome is going to be for next year, just considering all of the current changes in government. But we are going to plan for receiving the same grants for the same amount of funding. And then if something changes, we will reconvene and figure out what changes need to be made to the program. So with that in mind, we want to know what you think we should use our parent and family engagement set aside for, what you think our Title II, III, and IV funds should be used on. And then if you think our funds would just be better served if we transferred the money into a different bucket for a different grant. So that brings us to our annual parent and family needs assessment. We developed this needs assessment that will also be sent out in a few weeks, just to gather your responses for any changes you guys would like to see to any of our title programs or activities. That's your opportunity to give direct feedback about our programs and to give your opinion on how you want to see the programs run for next school year. So this is going to be very helpful for us when we are submitting the proposals and the budgets for next year's programs and next year's activities. So this way, the programs can be built with all of the stakeholders in mind. This needs assessment will be a great way for your voices to be heard and for your input to actually make a difference in the way the programs are run for next year. Does anyone have any questions or comments? I'm not able to see you guys, so you would have to come off of mute and just ask a question if you have one. I'm gonna take that as a no.
So I just wanted to say it would be nice if a lot more activities took place during the weekends, for us working parents, because it does make it hard. And then, when the kids come back after, certain kids got to participate and then your kids didn't get to participate because you had to work, that'd be nice, if you guys can do things on weekends too, and not just everything just during the school time throughout the course of the week.
That's a great idea. Yep, I agree with you. And then we also have Cortland on here who, let's see if he's on here. Can't see you guys, sorry.
I'm here.
Okay. So Cortland, don't you guys have events on the weekends, or that's not okay. All right.
Yeah.
We can include that.
It's rare, but because we have families too on weekends and sometimes our time. So sometimes it's hard to do weekends because of our schedule. But we try. We had one on Sunday out north, east. So it can happen. We can make some time for it.
Okay. And then I'm also going to add that as a question on the needs assessment, because I actually didn't think about that. Because we do ask about timing. So like if parents would like events to happen in the mornings, afternoons, so on and so forth. But I'm gonna put that down as a question as well to see what the consensus is. Rokia, I think.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I agree with the parents who just talked about the weekend outdoor program for the children. And on top of that, we will appreciate if when you're having the programming, sometimes the location sometimes is kind of far. And not every parents are driver like me. I don't drive. Reason why a lot of outdoor program I couldn't attend. I have 4 students in inside PA. And none of the programs since the beginning of the year, my children was able to attend. Only 2 this last 2, like in this May in Philadelphia, that are not far from us. Those are the only 2 things we will be able to go to. But beside that, since the other staff are far away from us and I don't drive, it's kind of hard for me to attend it. And my children, a lot of time, they kind of feel like bored a lot of time, and they're always indoor. And the only getaway they have is to focus themselves on gaming, which is not the reason why I'm like, it's kind of frustrating and stressing for me. I'm homeschooling and them not having no outdoor engagement to meet with a friend instead of being like all the time on laptop. I took them out. But as a mom, like we got a lot of other things to do. You cannot always be out there with your children. And I would really appreciate it if they can have more outdoor program like on the weekend, like she said. And on top of that, some transportation for parents who are not driver, where like we can gather in one van and we can attend different programs that are outdoor that the school have for them.
Got it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So weekend events, transportations, and some events that's a little closer to your home, basically. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
No, thank you. Were there any other questions?
What about, like, for example, like for the first part of this town hall here about people who, when we're doing the testing and you got 3 days and you're an hour, 2 hours away from the testing, about maybe some of the funds maybe going towards helping with hotel stays?
Sorry, I was trying to find my mute button. Absolutely. I think that's something we can certainly discuss.
Yeah, because I'm about an hour and a half away from our testing site, and I got to get a room for 4 days. And then again, we got 4 kids in site, here, so my wife's doing the schooling while I'm helping out doing the testing and stuff like that, and taking out the time for work. But you paying $400 or $500 for those 4 days, it gets a little.
No, absolutely. And that's something with my supervisor here, Julie, as well. I know we'll definitely take that back and have some discussions. So that's super helpful. So I do really appreciate that.
Yeah, we don't want this to be that level of expense. So I might even reach out to you, Mr. Smith, and see if not this year, that we could do something in regards to closer opportunities.
I mean, even with like y'all talking about with those testings if they're doing all computers, they may just eventually do it to where not the kids don't got to be in one spot,
Fingers crossed.
I was gonna say you'll see a lot of I will say I was actually at one of the Pennsylvania Department of Ed conferences where they were kind of discussing this, and I did specifically ask if we could start exploring that as an option as a state. So I think they are consistently getting that request, and so we're really hopeful as well to have that as an opportunity. I think that would be significantly easier on all of our families and different things like that. So we'll keep pushing for that.
Okay.
But I have a question. What about making a proposal to have teachers, I mean, being that all the kids are homeschooled and a lot of them are homeschooled for, reasons, having and making schedules for the teachers to come out, and do the, administer the test to the children. Because I mean, me as a working mom, like I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, you come on out, test these kids, because I have 2 children. Well, I actually have 3 that's in school, but 1 is in high school, and he doesn't have to do the testing. But my 2 little ones do have to do the testing. So I mean, stuff like that is convenient, for us, as parents, just trying to get on the same page at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, and I do want to call and try to problem solve some of the things that you've said. So you have been heard, and I will be giving you a call.
All right, any other questions for me? All right, so I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and also Miss Johanna Best, the Director of Reporting and Compliance. So if there's any other questions about any of our title programs, or if you have some other comments or concerns after this meeting, feel free to send either one of us an email, and we will respond to your message. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jaleesa. So now we are going to turn it over to Angela Rudy, and I hope I get her new position correct, our Enrollment and Strong Start Manager.
Thank you, Sarah. You are correct.
Who is going to share exciting updates about a much simpler enrollment confirmation process for our families this year.
Thank you, Sarah, and welcome, parents. Thank you for joining us and giving us your time tonight. So it's actually time to confirm your students' enrollment for next year. Communication has been being sent out over the past couple weeks via Parent Square for a quick survey just to fill out for your students, just to confirm that enrollment for next school year. So you can switch to the next slide, Sarah. Thank you. So the survey is just super simple. You're going to put, your email in, your student's first and last name. They're going to put their grade and then also their student ID. If you need help finding your student ID on the actual enrollment confirmation survey, there are email addresses for our elementary, middle, and high school Strong Start advisors that can help you locate your student's student ID to put on that enrollment confirmation survey. So if you haven't already confirmed your student's enrollment for next year, please make sure Ms. Naima Jones just put that in the chat for everybody to fill out. And if you are looking, go ahead, so you can go to the next slide. If you are looking to enroll a new student with us, so there's the information, I apologize, for our Strong Start advisors, that if you have any questions about the enrollment confirmation process, if you're having problems with the survey or getting your student's student ID, please reach out to Heather or Valerie. They would be more than happy to help you. And if you are looking to enroll a brand new student to Insight, so if you have some kindergarten children, or maybe you have friends or family that are interested in joining the Insight family, please direct them. They can go right to our website. And then when you go to our website under the About Insight PA, there is a drop down and you're going to click on enroll for the 25-26 school year. There's a quick enrollment inquiry form you can fill out. And then our enrollment team will be reaching out to you. So if you have any questions too about enrolling anybody for next school year, brand new students. So if your students are currently enrolled with us, all you need to do is fill out that enrollment confirmation survey. But if you want to enroll new students or share information with somebody else, please direct them to our website. They can fill out that inquiry form. Someone from our enrollment team will reach out to them. And if you're looking to enroll a kindergarten student, please know that every school district in the state of Pennsylvania is a little bit different for kindergarten cutoff. So we base it on the district in which you live in. So again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to having your students again with us next year as well.
Thanks, Angie. I'm going to just highlight some upcoming events. However, if you have not filled out our sign-in form yet, I am going to put that link in the chat right after I finish up with this slide. Parents, guardians, we do use those submissions to pick winners, to get items from our school store. So please make sure you do complete that sign-in form, and I'll put the link in the chat again once more in just a minute. But what you see in front of you here, these are the rest of our events through the end of the school year. So we will have events up through Friday, May 23rd. So just a reminder, insightpaschool.org/calendar, all our events are on there. Our community engagement coordinators are also sending out updates and information through Parent Square. So if you're not on checking Parent Square, or if you haven't downloaded the app, we are sharing a lot of event information there as well. And our next town hall is going to be the week of May 12th. We are still working out the exact date and time, but this one is going to be dedicated to the exciting changes coming for next school year. So we're going to talk about technology. We're going to talk about operations and enrollment, things that are going to make improvements for our students and our families. We're really excited to start sharing this information with you. And we'll talk about how we'll continue to share updates with you throughout the summer so that you're all set to go for next school year. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to put that sign-in form in the chat once more. Please make sure that you have filled that out. And as you do that and log off to enjoy the rest of your evening, I just want to thank you so much for your time tonight, for the great conversations we had, for all of your input, for the feedback that you've given us. We truly appreciate you being a part of our school community, and we really appreciate the opportunity to have this time with you. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
Are we still able to ask questions?
Yeah, we have a few minutes. Yeah.
I wanted to, the lady just gave the presentation about the survey for next year. So if I'm understanding that correctly, if I went in and did a survey for all 4 of my kids that are in Insight. So if I did that survey, that's basically saying that they're enrolled for next year, or do I? Okay.
Yep, Mr. Smith, 100% correct. You're just confirming their enrollment. They're going to remain enrolled with us for next year. So yeah, once you complete that, you're good to go. So thank you. Great question.
One other question I want for a verification on here, because when I was looking for my one daughter's whatchamacallit, the student ID, I want to see if these dates are correct that I saw on there. So it was saying that school begins for 25-26 on the 1st of August and ends on 30th of June.
No.
That's what I was like, is that something new? Because that's only a month off.
No. Where did you see that?
Like when you go underneath my information and or like my accounts, like when you log into the online school on there.
Yeah, just ignore the online school. We're not utilizing the online school anymore. Everything's been moved over to Schoology. And you'll see the online school is going to be completely gone next year. So yes, just as long as you fill out that survey, you're good to go. And the first day of school is going to be Monday, August 25th.
Monday, August 25th. Okay. Yeah, because I'm sitting there like August 1st to June 30th. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You deserve a break, Mr. Smith. So.
Well, it'd be good for the kids. They could probably graduate high school at 12, 17, 18.
Yeah. And Jason, we haven't put them on the web-based calendar yet, but if you go to the calendar page on our website, there is a PDF of our entire school calendar for the 25-26 school year. Our board did approve that in January, so those dates are good to go. And we'll be getting them onto the website calendar pretty soon.
And another bit of information for y'all too. So I do remember it was difficult, like trying to go through Parent Square to get to those surveys. Like I do a lot of stuff. I'm doing this right now on my cell phone, a Zoom meeting. So on both my wife and my cell phone. So we tried to get into those surveys, and it kept on saying that you couldn't get it because of JavaScript. You had to enable JavaScript, which is enabled on my phone. So I had to end up going actually to emails that we got. So I don't know if you guys have been having. That might be if a lot of parents haven't responded yet, or that might be something like. But I even tried calling y'all's the tech support on that, and they were saying, well, that's something that you got to do with the school. That's not with K-12.
What surveys were those, Jason?
Oh, those were the surveys for the enrollment.
For enrollment, okay.
For the enrollments, yeah. So it was giving us, if you try to get in through Parent Square, it was giving us an error code about enabling JavaScript, which in all the web browsers I have on all of our phones, JavaScript is enabled.
I do see our chief technology officer being intrigued by all of this, Mr. Smith.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, we'll have to review and look at that tomorrow. That's first report that I've heard of that, but we can look into it.
He's not the only one that had that issue.
And that's for the Google form?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Like I said, if you got small dwindling numbers on there, that might be the issue on that might be an issue on there.
At testing sites, we are going to have signs on tables, and the brochures you're going to be taking home do have QR codes that'll take you directly to that survey. So that is a bypass solution for some. And I can probably put that, we'll start putting it in our social media posts too. We'll make sure the QR code is there. Sorry, Cortland, I see your hand raised. Cortland Handy, one of our community engagement coordinators.
I wanted to respond to Ms. Sengar about the transportation with Philly events. The reason why we have 5 straight Philly events is because I saw that the lack of transportation for certain parents. I see a lot of parents using Ubers and Lyfts to come to the events. So our 2 outside, like Friday may be postponed because of the rain, but we had an outside from 5 to 8. That's at Franklin Square, and we have Philadelphia Zoo. So that's 2 outside events. So that's why I geared towards Philly the past 5 events, because I saw the transportation issue. Also, we are actually looking into trying to see carpooling companies as well as transportation. We're trying to look into it, like research, because I know that transportation is really difficult for parents. So we are looking into it.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we're working on is previously our parents had access to a learning coach community through Stride K-12. We're looking into other options for ways we can connect families with each other. So whether that be a Facebook group or something within the Parent Square platform, so that families can connect with each other and maybe arrange carpools or maybe arrange weekend play dates with classmates who are in their area. So that is a goal of ours that we're working toward for next school year.
Oh, another thing, Sarah, Catherine, I saw your comment. We have a parent club session for feedback for me on Thursday. I'll send you a link, but I just need ideas for York, Franklin, and come in those counties out there, because our attendance are low. So if you have any ideas, definitely bring it to me. That's it, Sarah.
Thank you, Cortland. I appreciate that. All right, so we're it's 7:32, and I want to be mindful.
Wait, sorry, I'm so sorry. Sorry, I have a question. Actually, I have 2 questions. I'm so sorry.
I did too.
Okay, let's go with Amby.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that's Amber.
Amber.
Nick's mom. Question number one. With the testing, because I feel like I'm about to answer my own question. With the testings, us as parents, we just drop our child off and we leave. We don't stay, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And then my other question is, when would the students start getting like actual letter or number grades? Because right now my he's in the 4th grade and he's still getting like S and M's on his report card. When would that change to actual like letters or number grades?
6th grade. So at middle school, they transition over to the more the traditional like A through F grading system and the percentages. At the elementary, they still use the letter system you're talking about, which is like the mastery grading scale. So that's why you see that. So it's 6th grade.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. I had no idea that the report cards changed. I thought it was just Insight's way of grading and
Oh no. Charlotte, I think I saw
Yes,
okay.
yes. I just had a quick question in regards to the survey. I think I seen on there something about the medical forms or something that had to be uploaded. The only thing is I have the health, but I don't have the dental yet. Will that be play a major part in the filling out the survey, or would it be all right just to put the health?
Is that for enrollment or is that for something else?
I thought it was for the survey. I could be wrong, but it might
Okay.
be, I believe so.
I don't want to misspeak, so I'm gonna put our nursing coordinator's email in the chat, and
Okay.
you can contact her directly.
Okay, thank you.
And I think Niall, I think we had one more who had a question.
No, I didn't have a question.
Okay.
I pressed the button by accident.
Oh, okay. All right. So the email address, that is Wendy Smith. She's our school nurse coordinator, so she can help you out with that. Okay. All right. Well, I know there's probably several folks on here who are about to go eat dinner. So enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you all again so much for being here. This recording will go up on our YouTube channel and it will be added to our website. So we'll put a link in the next newsletter in case anyone wants to go back and review anything.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
You have a great night.
Thank y'all for us. And by the way, my wife was really irritated about those not having the letter grades for elementary too.
Right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting so that the recording will save. Those of you who work at Insight, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay,
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to us.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
welcome. Thank you so much.